Okay, I think we are live. Yay. Okay. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing this Transit Talk Wednesday? So today we are talking about the transit of Sun in Gate 3 and Earth in Gate 50. I'm Kathy Bochonko and I am doing Gate 3 and I am sitting in this. I don't even want to call it difficulty at the beginning, even though that's the name of it, right? This is the, yeah, I'm taking this out.
What's a spinach ale?
I don't know. I thought I was letting a person in, and it was letting in somebody's note taker who showed up. Okay. All right, let's start over. So I am sitting in this energy of gate 3, which is often about difficulty at the beginning, but it's really about this energy of sitting with what is starting and not knowing where it's going. And so I'm sitting with this new energy of this beautiful experience I've called into my life of a dance party at the conference in Colorado that I just really kind of feel like I manifested out of my joy of all those things, right? So, hi, Mary. I am sitting in this energy, this gate 3 formatting energy of not knowing where this is going, like really just not trying to create this from my head and letting my body call it in. So, part of that is sitting with the energy of what am I going to wear for this, right? So, I've got a lot of my fun things here. Like, do I want this flowy, sparkly scarf type of thing? Or do I want like the bell sleeves that are going to move when I dance? And I've got my sparkly shoes, and I think I need to order more disco balls because, of course, everybody will have to get disco balls, right? So, and one thing we know without a doubt that is coming to Colorado is the disco ball purse, right? So I'm sitting in the joy of the unknown of what is going to come with this beautiful formatting energy where something is starting, something's coming about, because this to me feels like more than one event. This feels like a whole call to just joyfully express this playful energy that I feel so just brought into after this beautiful experience that you and I had in Austin. And I want to also say that I love that you're representing Gate 50 because you have been my cauldron, Jess, through all of this. So,
Oh, I love you.
I love you too. The space that you held for all of us there was so beautifully wonderful. So anyway, hi Jess, you want to talk about
No,
that?
thank you. Yes, absolutely. First off, I am celebrating you so much right now. A dance party with you. I am so, so excited. I have my disco ball pants, or maybe I'm going to get a dress for it. I am so excited to come to this event now in Colorado.
In
It's just
September, I'll put my affiliate link for conference tickets in the comments. If you don't have yours yet, you're going to want to come dance with Jess and I
yes.
and lots of
Yes.
other people.
Yes,
And
such
yeah,
perfection. And I'm laughing because so today I'm representing the energy of gate 50, which I actually have in my chart. So this is what defines my sacral, the 2750. And so in this energy of playfulness, um, I have a broom, right? The custodian. So this is the broom. Speaking of dance parties, I'm a generator, and both of my kids are generators, and we do a lot of dance parties, especially when we have to do chores and do, cooking. I don't particularly enjoy cooking, so we always have some really great music. Abel Hart has been an absolute favorite of ours recently. And so I was sending Kathy a video. I was like, this is how we get chores done in our household with generators. And so the kids each had one of these, and they were supposed to be sweeping, but we all ended up dancing and twirling the broom around. So this is bringing in the
that
custodian.
room looks pretty clean, like it hasn't done a lot of sweeping. I think it's done more dancing.
I think this is definitely a dancing broom. This is And
right?
that's just, I mean, finding the joy in it. So it's just making me very happy that this is the broom. It just brings beautiful memories and just feels like a lot of love here. And
Yeah.
yeah, we've also
50
got,
is your Mercury, isn't it?
it's my design, so unconscious Mercury.
Yeah. Okay.
My and the cauldron. So I was
You're
just on
gonna
a Zoom with Ian. We were doing a podcast, and I was like, "Okay, Ian, what does 50 look like? I have 2 minutes." And he was like, "A cauldron. You have to get like a pot." And I was like, "Perfect." And for 50, line one is the wisdom keeper. So we've got our book here, Incarnation Cross.
Mhm.
We've got the books, and then we've also got what else was I bringing? I think. Hold on one second.
Yeah. So, Mary, you have 50 in your chart, don't you?
Yes, I have it conscious and unconscious Uranus.
Ooh, okay. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I have a lot of stuff cooking. As you know, I've been working on my channeling skills, and so far it's really been manifesting in messages from birds. They have come to me frequently, and recently a friend of mine journeyed for me, and raven is really big right now. And in fact, that's my because if you remember, I was talking about changing my name or thinking about changing my name, and the name that came to this person for me was Raven. And I've got tons of crows and grackles and things in my backyard. And as I told you previously, the magic is building, the magic is coming.
Wow.
And so with Uranus being in the 50 and Neptune sitting squarely in my conscious sun gate, um, all of the mysteries and all of this are unfolding, and I'm just sort of stewing in the energy, kind of like you were sitting in the energy.
That's funny. The first thing that came to mind for me when you said the Raven, do
Mm-hmm.
you remember when we met in Wisconsin and we went shopping in that little boutique? Do you remember what I
Yeah.
bought? I bought
Uh-uh.
this beautiful vintage jacket that had been embellished with Edgar Allan Poe's The
That's
Raven.
right. That's
And I was
right.
with you when I bought that. And
Yeah.
it's really cool, but it's like not my bright color. So I usually wear it like around Halloween or something. And I actually wound up buying this big eye and that was in a like black flower. And then I put a bunch of raven feathers behind it and I
Oh,
wear that as
cool.
like a corsage on it. And then I have this really cool like raven um headband thing that I bought, and I wore that to like just a Halloween gathering where, neither one of us were go all out kind of mode. My
Mm-hmm.
husband's seldom in a go all out mode. His favorite thing is he has a t-shirt that says that he wrote on with a black marker that says 404 error 404 costume not found, and he'll wear
Nice.
that. So anyway, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of ironic. That
I
or not
forgot
ironic.
about that.
That's
I
probably not the
remember
right
that
word. More,
store.
it's synergistic, right? That feels
Yeah.
like it's very meaningful, and ironic makes it seem trivial, but I feel there was some deeper meaning in that. So, did your
Yeah.
sacral respond to the name Raven? Is Raven your
It
name?
did. Well, you have to ask me again because I was going to say something. My brain was engaged.
Is Raven your name?
Yeah.
Okay. Mary's pure sacral, so I love all those things. I love when I catch her in something, right? When I'm like, and
Yeah.
she'll
Oh,
be like,
you're very good at that.
no, like,
My kiddo does that to me all the time. They just come into the room and they're like, "Are you going to do it?" No.
right?
Okay.
That's awesome. So Jess, I know you got interrupted. Was there more you wanted to say about you're muted, I think, no?
Oh, am I muted?
Oh, no,
Oh,
you're not. Okay.
it was so funny. Savannah saw me. She's like, I want to say hi to Kathy. I
She
was
can
like,
come say
not,
hi to us.
all right. Oh no,
Come
she'll
say
sit
hi.
the whole time.
Okay, you saw.
She'll give you her view on human design.
Yeah, how tell everyone who Savannah is? Your
Oh, so yes,
adorable little
thank you. Reference. Savannah is my 4-1 Manny Jen, fixed as fuck. Little 6-year-old.
and yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she loves Kathy, loves human
Uh,
design, loves to talk. So
Awesome. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Do you have either the 3 or the 50? Or Mary, I didn't ask. Do you have the 3 in your chart? I don't remember that.
Nope.
No. Mike, do you have either 50 or the 3?
I have 50 in my spleen.
Ooh, well, that's where everybody has 50 if
Oh,
they
yeah.
have it.
That's it's in my, I have it on both sides, just as unconscious design and personality.
What's it defined by?
Neptune.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
Oh,
Awesome. So,
Terry,
hi, Valerie. You know, Neptune is actually conjunct with Mars. What's in 25? Mercury. Neptune and Mercury, I think, are conjunct. Something it's in my transit report, but Neptune and is
Is it
it gate
Venus?
25? Whoops.
I think Venus is in the 25, isn't it? Maybe it's Mercury.
right now,
They're both
Neptune,
around there.
yeah, Mercury's in 25 right now.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Mercury and Neptune are in 25. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't know why I felt that relevant just because you mentioned Neptune. So I didn't mean to interrupt your, if you had anything you wanted to say about your gate 50.
it's just been very interesting learning about the cauldron. And
Yeah.
when I was very young, when I first started learning how to journey and project my consciousness, I went into a cave where I found a cauldron that I went into. And when I came out of it, I was told that was the cauldron of knowledge.
Oh, wow.
And to
Yeah.
go with, sorry, this is one of my spirit animals. Sets in my
Holy cow.
Wow.
and
Okay, now you guys, I want to, while someone's talking next, I'm gonna have to look up the spirit animal of the raven and see what it represents in my little book.
well,
So anyway, Jess, do you want to share your screen about gate so we can talk about gate 3 and then
So the Raven, Google tells me, is change, transformation, and wisdom. The
well that
messenger from the
seems fitting.
spiritual, yeah, messenger from the spiritual realm. Guide through difficult times, bringer of both positive and negative change.
Ah, well, in the animal totem book and the I Ching with from Brynja Magnuson, which I love this book and I love the cards that goes with it. The magic raven is 47. And we'll have to talk about that later because that's not relevant to this transit, but it's just interesting to know. So do you have this book yet, anybody? I think I've told everybody in the world to buy this book, so buy this book.
I need
Although
to
I
get
just
that book with my
right?
animals talking to me. I need to get that book.
yeah.
Yeah, there are cards you can get too, which are fun if you want to pull something, but you can buy just the book if you don't need the cards. But I need all the cards. That's clear to me. So, okay. And that's another one of the things I'm sitting with at the beginning and not rushing into is this idea that I'm going to create this card deck that I'm going to relate to my disco ball oracle theme. But I don't feel this, it's so beautiful to sit in the energy of things that you're calling in, but know that you don't really have all the pieces yet. So not trying to force it and act on it. Like I know there's more that is going to come in before I actually do this. Just like I know there's more that's going to come in before I actually create my outfit to wear for the dance party, right? So I have just sit in the energy of all this. I'm really thinking I might need to wear this, but I don't have the thing on the bottom that's going to give me the right feel, right? So I might need to call in a dress to wear this over, it's like a whatever. So it's a metaphor there of like, we don't necessarily have all the pieces. So we just sit in what we have and enjoy it. And the energy is all coming in. So did you want to share your screen for gate 3? And I'll talk a little bit about gate 3. Uh-oh.
Absolutely. And you could always find some fun sparkle pants too. We can match.
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's share.
Although I'm usually more of a dress person for dancing, unless they're very flowy. I like flowy dance stuff.
Yeah.
I like my fabric to move with me.
It says it's paused. Your screen sharing is paused.
I don't know why. Did you pause something?
Mm-mm. Can anybody see the
I just
transit?
see a black cauldron-like thing.
I see the cauldron.
Right? Okay, so we'll just talk about it without it. So gate 3, if you all can picture a body graph and the root center, and there are 3 channels that come from the root center to the sacral. And gate 3 is on the sacral, but it's on that channel in the middle. So it's individual energy, and it's connecting to gate 60 on the root, which we will actually, when the moon transits gate 60 for a while on, I put it in my report, I forget if it's Saturday or Sunday, we'll have that chunk of several hours where we all have that beautiful channel of mutation activated in us. So some pretty powerful energy if you don't normally have that activated. So, okay, so gate 3 in traditional human design is called the gate of ordering, and it's known in the I Ching as difficulty at the beginning. And it is this beautiful energy that Richard Rudd calls the gift of innovation, right? This is where we sit in that shadow energy of chaos that we can sometimes feel we need, that can make us feel really disordered, or it can make us be very, he says, he uses the 2 terms of the introverted and extroverted expression. And so he says those expressions are anal or disordered. So this is that energy that can often make us feel we've got to get everything together. We've got to find the way to order everything so that life makes sense, right? So that pressure is all locked up, right? Or we can sometimes just feel really disordered and chaotic. So that's sometimes why people feel like it's difficult to get something started, and sometimes they'll abandon things rather than just sit in that chaos. They'll be like, I can't do this because I don't know how, and they'll give up, right? Instead of being able to sit in the energy of that. And I had such a beautiful experience with that, sitting in the unknown type of energy when we were at this event together in Austin, when I had one of the things we were contemplating was our unconscious Jupiter and what blocks that held for us in our money story. And I could not see the logic, right, in my gate 51 gift of initiative and the city of awakening. And I was sitting in it, I was like, I don't really know what to do with that. What does that mean I'm supposed to do? Especially as a projector, I'm supposed to initiate, right? I was just sitting with it, and that my normal tendency would be like, let me read all the things, let me look up all the stuff. But I was really in this new energy of like, this is a question that I'd like to have an answer to in the right time. So I just sat with that kind of chaotic feeling of, I don't really get this part. I just paid all this money to come here and to do all this stuff, and I'm not understanding this part, right? And I sat with that energy, and the next day, in the next class, there was a conversation that took place, and it just like dropped in out of no, like not out of nowhere, but just out of boom, right? And I was like, oh, when I am truly initiating from that place that's in me, right? 51's on the heart, it's on the will center. When it's truly coming from a place of my heart, my joy, that points to the identity center, when I really have that sort of energy, then I'm going to find my awakening. That's where the abundance is going to come in. And I feel like that aha moment was the beginning of a new cycle for me. And that's gate 3 is about this format energy of starting something new. So this new energy that I walked out of that conference with was, I'm calling in fun and joy and just this playful type of ease in my life that really lights me up, right? And immediately, like literally, we sat down, we were on our way to dinner, and I looked at my phone and I had a message from Michelle about hosting a dance party for the conference. And I was like, thank you, universe. Okay, I don't know what that looks like. I sat with it for a day, it all kind of like kept coming together as I would tell her little bits, and then things are coming in, and eventually it'll all be what can't even imagine at this point in time, right? But in the past, I might have tried to figure it all out now. And then that needing to order everything actually limits us, right? Because we lock something in based on what we know in this moment instead of going into this flow state of creation. And that's what this format energy is all about. It's about creating from this place of joy that is really grounded in this energy of gate 50, which is knowing that we're supported, that we have because that's tribal. That gate 50 is tribal. And
Very.
right? It's part of the defense circuit. Of course, I should have remembered you had it, Mary. Don't you have the whole defense circuit or almost?
I'll have a lot of it, yeah.
I think you have 3 gates, and then between your family, you have the whole thing.
We have the whole
right?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, like multiple times, probably compromised and whatever. But yeah, so that's gate 3 energy, and that's how it's showing up for me. And Lisa's saying stuff in the comments, and I have not read them. It's one of my individual gates. Most of my channels are individual. From the transit body graph Jess just posted, I have 3 channels activated, 360. Do you want to come on, Lisa, or are you not able? And I'm sorry, I have a little gravelly throat, so that means I'm supposed to let somebody else talk.
Huh, is it working? It says it's working.
There you go. Has it been
Ah,
trying this whole time, or you just tried again?
da, da, da. Thank you for the singing, Mary. That made me very happy. Yes, so perfect. We can actually see it now, which is just so helpful. So what Kathy's been speaking to is the sun right now, which is in gate 3, which if we see over here is down on the sacral and pointing down here towards on the other side, which was that beautiful example in your story, gate 60, which is acceptance, right? Like really sitting and accepting what's there. And so that makes that channel of mutation. And then on the other side right here, we've got the earth is currently in 50, which is on the spleen. And the spleen is that like intuitive hit in the moment. And the 50 is going towards the 27, which is, so the 50 is values, the cauldron. And that's going towards 27 on the sacral, and the 27 is caring. And so this is actually in my chart, this is what defines my sacral. And so this is the custodianship. It's a deeply caring, nourishing energy in here. So looking through those, and then we're chatting a little bit before, we talked about the 25 on the G center, the self, the love, the direction. And right now we have Mercury on the side, and we've also got Neptune in 25 right now. And so very interesting. 50 for me is my Mercury on my unconscious, the design side. So the left side for me. Let me stop sharing. And, values is something that's very, very deeply ingrained into who I am. I remember in college, one of my boyfriends had stolen some salt and pepper from the cafeteria, and I actually made him return it. I was like, you can't steal. He's like, it's not stealing. They put it in our tuition. I was like, that's great. It's not yours. You didn't pay for it. Like, absolutely not. It's like, to me, like stealing, you don't take people's salt and pepper. And he's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, okay, you might feel it's ridiculous. This is something I very firmly believe in. And this is like something you and I are going to have massive issues on. Like, if you can stay there and you can live your life like that, but this is something that's an absolute no for me. And so I feel very grounded in my values and my beliefs, and challenging what that status quo is, challenging and saying, like, yes, maybe this is the way it's done. Maybe your friends are doing it too. That's great. But again, that value of honesty and integrity, and you don't, to me, steal. And so the 50, when we're looking at, the gene key side, it starts in that shadow of corruption. And then you move through and you go to the equilibrium, the balancing, and on the other side you have that harmony. And so it's kind of like a pivotal moment where it was a beautiful description of the 50 is like your hard drive, and we come here and we have this corrupted hard drive, and we're here to find and wipe out that corruption and find that true essence of that computer, of ourselves, so that we can get to that place of getting to that harmony in through this equilibrium, which is the gift. And seeing how to get to this equilibrium, it's both doing, like bringing love into a situation and doing, but it's also that being where you start to step out of the story. In human design, how we talk about that passenger consciousness, right? Where you get to experience the things and you get to watch them happening. So stepping back a little bit, finding that peace. But there's such that beautiful, when you get to that harmony, it's where you get to be both. And the way that this spoke to me personally is, you can think about, I can hear the divine music. I can hear it. I can feel it. I can connect in with that part. But it's not just living there in the divine music. It's not just going, this is beautiful, this is perfect here. It's also feeling that and bringing that into here, into the now, into where we are, and living that in our experience. And part of playing an instrument is we're going to mess it up, right? When we start playing an instrument, we are undoubtedly going to play the wrong notes. It's going to be out of tune. We've got to tune it. We've got to play with it. And that there is this piece of where you get to experience and move through that. And it's part of the whole process, right? Finding that balance of being able to be in both and bringing the harmony, which just felt so beautiful. Because I know that's something where I am right now. Sometimes I'm like, it's a lot to be here. There's a lot of things here, and you just want to connect into that place of love, but realizing like we're here to bring that love into where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And that corruption makes some people are like, oh, but this is where tribal law lives, right? In this channel 5027. And
Mhm.
so we know that a lot of times in the law, something may start out with a good intention,
Mhm.
and then it becomes corrupt, right? We know even things that start out with the best of intentions, like, a tax break that is there for someone to really benefit, gets taken advantage of and used in a way that's not intended for, or just precedents are set that then people use in all sorts of ways that are not really for the best of the tribe, and they'll use a law against somebody in a way that it was not intended for. So there's always corruption, even within ourselves when we're protecting our family, right? Sometimes we're like, or our tribe in some way, shape, or form, we can start to use something in a way that's scarcity mindset, right? That is not about really supporting our tribe without saying, we're going to have it so you can't, right? There's an element of connection in there that really, I mean, if you think of it, it mirrors the 59-6, right? And we know the 59-6 is where intimacy, the creation of human life and other things, and it's also where war lives. So if you look at that as a mirror of it, these laws can either be used to create intimacy and new life, or they can be used to divide us and create wars, real and literal. I mean, literal and figurative, right? There's a lot of wars going on right now that are not involving bombs. They're just involving people fighting against what they think is fighting against them, instead of this coming together to create something new, trying to find that equal ground. And I feel like the 50 is really that place that holds that energy for us to all be able to see what the tribe really needs to be
Mhm.
sustainable, right?
And it's
One of
that.
the
Mhm.
one of the coolest practices that I got tuned into is figuring out what your values are, not what you think they're supposed to be, but sitting with this huge list of values and just going through them. do I value this? Do I value this? And there's no judgment. It's just, is this something you value? And distilling those down into like 3, because a lot of times there's overlap or whatever. And then anytime you come to a choice point and you don't know what to do, you make the choice that moves you closer to one of those values. And once a year going back over, are these still my values? Do I have different values? But it will always take you to a place you want to go if you have figured out what that value is. And so I love this idea of harmony, because it brings more harmony in if I am making my decisions based on my values and moving towards those values, even if I feel like I don't have a good answer. I don't know what to do. Well, what would move me toward my values? And so I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jess, the other thing that I think what Mary was saying, this relates, that's what I'm saying, Jess. But when you were talking about the music and the harmony, I was thinking about, how this Abel Heart, which we've mentioned a couple times, music that you introduced me to that I absolutely love. And if anybody hasn't listened to it, I'll put a link in the comments to his Spotify. But he kind of encapsulates a lot of what you're saying, Mary, because his music is frequency and the lyrics. So he takes these empowering lyrics and he matches it with the actual frequency. Like we know what the frequency of abundance is. We know the healing frequencies. You've seen all this stuff about, what is it? The solfeggio, not the binaural beats is when they have to be in different ears, but the other one is something with an S that I can never say without looking at the word solfeggio or something. But he combines the hertz no with and then the music is just so cool. And so you're sitting there with this amazing beat and it's like everything is working out for me, and I don't know, Jess could probably sing all the songs by heart, but because her and her kids clean to them. But that holding that frequency, right? And that's the frequency of set in our values is our frequency. So whenever we compromise our values, we compromise our frequency,
Mhm.
I
right?
think it's solfeggio.
That's what it is. You're right.
Yes.
That is it,
Love those frequencies. They're so cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would play some of the music, but I think there's a thing with right now, but I don't know if you'd be able to hear it. So because I know that sometimes Zoom does a thing where you have to do something for the music to come through. But anyway, okay, so we're talking. Do you have more anybody want to say anything more about 50 in general, or do we want to maybe talk
Yeah.
about the lines?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add with that, with the frequency, like the 50 is really about recombining the elements, right? Because it's coming from that spleen, that instinctual knowing, and it's for the well-being of the tribe. So if you think about it, it's finding new ways in which to do it and to shift it according to those values, and to really have that place of balance, not in the extremes, not where the value is like so far this way or so far that way. There's just this massive pull of finding that balance, that harmony within yourself. And then you get to see it outside of you as well. But starting within, and like Mary was saying, like identifying like what are your values? And, asking yourself that question and writing them down. And when you have experiences in your life, adding things to it, like what was missing in this situation, or what would I like to have? And even for like your love languages, people talk about love languages. For me, like safety is part of my love language. Like safety is my love language, right? Like, do I feel that trust, that love connection, that safety piece? And to know what you do value as that northward star. And so just not becoming too extreme one way or another, finding that middle ground to find that piece of harmony. The other thing with the 50 is it's very interesting because it's afraid of responsibility. Sorry, the pool guys here. Afraid of responsibility, and you can avoid it where you're feeling that responsibility, or on the other side of it where you take on too much responsibility. So just really noticing right now as we're in this energy, is there a sense of responsibility that I am feeling like I'm trying to avoid this responsibility, or am I feeling like I need to pick all of this up? I need to pick this up for the well-being of my tribe, for the well-being of the people around me. Seeing where that's sitting for you with those. And like Kathy said, it is tribal. It is also part of the defense. There's also, Lisa mentioned, I have a lot of creative energy right now. I have let go things that no longer serve me. I'm not feeling chaos at the beginning because I've let go of things that don't serve. I'm planning the rest of my year, including workshops and one-to-one and group programs. Without feeling rushed. It's a big change for me. And so there's this energy with the 50 where it's thinking outside of the box, right? It is this creative energy where you get to recombine and realign things to make this harmony, and noticing that life's going to keep bringing you challenges and keep bringing you things. And if you think about like a surfer, you're just going to keep surfing and you're going to keep building that core strength as you're going through these experiences, leaning into that North Star of those values.
I
Yeah.
loved what you said about combining the elements because that took us back to the cauldron, and it made me think of alchemy, which took me back to magic and the raven. And so it was like, yep, all of those little pieces just tucking right in there.
Yeah. And that's what individual energy really is too, is this alchemy energy, right? Of combining these things and really mutating ourselves, knowing
Yes.
who we are.
So the
And I
50
just,
is tribal, but it is a very individual process, absolutely, because it's you have to create that within, right? Within yourself, you have to find that harmony. What is my value? Like, what do I value in this?
It feels
Hmm.
like that's why it's paired with the three, that's where the individual piece comes in.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And there's so much melancholy in the three that knowing that you have that support, right, is really part of what helps you be able to face this uncertainty of the challenges at the beginning without it becoming depressive, right? It's that melancholy of, oh, I don't know where this is going, can be held by, your community, the people around you, your friends, whatever your support network, in a really beautiful way. And I think that's really,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
So
also,
I
yeah,
did also,
and
what?
taking a stand, also noticing like where do you want to take a stand? Kind of
Yeah.
have that energy, not to lean too deeply into just like, oh, harmony and passive. There's also this energy in this 50 that it's like, no, like I'm taking, no, this is not happening. No, you will not steal the salt and pepper from school.
Right? Yeah. My husband has the gate 50 line 1 as his unconscious earth. So, that's what keeps him healthy, right? Isn't that what our radiance is, our unconscious earth? And so that feeling of, his values and being supported. And it's interesting how even that, we can, a lot of it has to do with mindset, right? So my husband's a manifesting generator living with 2 undefined sacrals. And he always feels like he's the one who has to do everything. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do everything, but you just do it before everybody else does. That's all, So like, if you really like to be able to sit with the chaos a little bit more, right? He's trying to order it all, like get it all together in a way. So I thought that was an interesting thing to look at in this transit. And now I'm looking, I don't think he has the 3, but I don't remember. Oh, he does. Of course he does.
It would be his son, wouldn't it?
Yeah, why am I? Yeah, of course. I was like, exactly. That's why I said, of course he does, because they go together. Oh, boom, Yeah, that's his design son. So this is really interesting now. I thought I had finished my blog, but I might have to go look at it and see if I want to add some new perspective to it now with that light there, right? So me not having either one of these gates defined in my chart and knowing that that is a thing that I live with all the time. So interesting to now go and contemplate that one time before I actually hit publish, but I might not add anything in there. That, the blog doesn't have to contain all my thoughts. So that's why I love these because so many new things come up in it, right?
Mhm.
So
That means his birthday's coming up.
no, this is it. Oh yeah, 88 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
not that soon. Yep, he's Cancer.
Okay.
So
And that chaos, sitting with the chaos and the confusion and seeing the inherent chaos and confusion that it is to be here, that there is in life, right?
mhm.
And moving through that, sometimes I know I get caught up. I'm like, I want everything to line up and be in order and be a certain way, but finding that beauty in the chaos.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sitting here with that now. So I did want to add one thing too, just so that anyone listening knows that Jess and I think are going to release these episodes on podcast platforms so people can listen to them other places as well. So just putting that out there. And I think this one will be the first one we put on there. So hopefully that's okay with anybody who's shared here. If not, I'll wait a week. But yeah, so that'll be fun. And if you listen on Spotify, it actually shows the video, but the rest will be on audio. People can listen to our ramblings. They won't get to see our fun outfits. And they'll have to go find it on YouTube for that or come into the group. Yeah, they won't see how clean Jess's broom is. I've never seen I've never seen such a clean broom, honestly.
Is that Mr. Broom, Ms. Broom? I don't want to, but Ms. Broom, Mixed Broom is a lovely broom. It looks like a very great dance partner. I'm
Yes.
totally down.
It really is. It's a really great dance partner. I don't know if you saw the video. It was really cute. And then
Yeah.
Savannah at the end, she started like spinning this around. It was just, I don't know. We have so much fun. And I think that's the essence of it, finding ways to do these things, having fun. And that's
Yes,
a value. That's a value I have. I think having fun is definitely a value that I
definitely. That
Awesome.
is definitely. I do want to say also today, I mentioned already that today is when we had the conjunct Neptune and Mercury, but now tomorrow we'll have a short time where the moon will be in gate. Wait, what is it? I have it written here. The moon will be gate 11 and it'll connect with Mars in gate 56. So we'll all have that. What is the name of that? The channel of curiosity? Is that what that's called? It's not here yet, but it'll be, yeah, this one will come in. So tomorrow we'll have some time where we will probably have a lot of ideas that are coming through, right? Yeah, the channel of curiosity. And then like I mentioned on Sunday, we'll have the 60, so the whole format channel of the channel of mutation. So, and then the 19th, Taurus season starts, and that just feels really beautiful to think about all of this, starting something new at a time when we're going to go into this beautiful grounded energy. I mean, Taurus is such grounded, earthy energy. Like it's the time when we want to go run around barefoot in the grass and put flowers in her hair and cook good
Or in the ground.
food with love. Even though Jess doesn't like to cook, we're gonna have some chats about that because cooking with love is so nurturing and such great gate 50 energy. And I think,
I think I have like my solid like favorite things. I love making crepes, like homemade crepes. I made friends
Yum.
with a French lady and she gave me like an authentic French recipe if anybody wants it. It's delightful. With Nutella and strawberries and bananas and
Mm.
it's super delicious.
Yum.
Yum, right? We need to like have a retreat sometime just to eat Nutella.
I have a crepe maker, so I need this recipe so I can try
Do
it out with
you?
my
I
crepe
will
maker.
I will send it to you. It's delicious and it's like naturally sweetened with the vanilla, but there's no sugar in it. So I mean,
Yum.
and fair enough, I like dollop all the Nutella on it. So
see, for me, that I love that cauldron feeling of cooking and just saying, what do I have? And how can I put it together? And honestly, I really like using ChatGPT. They have an AI, a cooking assistant, And a lot of times I'll be like I'll kind of know what I want to do, but then I'll be like, I want to make this, but I want to change up the seasoning. What are some other ways I could season this? And it'll give me like combinations of seasonings for stuff that I've never even thought of. And that's a really fun, playful way to try stuff. Um, but, I'll be like, all right, I've got some mushrooms and I've got some ground turkey. What can I make besides some kind of chili or, the things that I normally go to? And it'll like, oh, here's this and this and this. And then I'll be like, oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's just kind of fun and exciting. And, it's a real, I mean, cooking is the ultimate alchemy, in my opinion. It's just, taking a bunch of different things and
I think
combine.
it's really interesting because I'm not a cooker either. And so the two of us who have the 50 defined are like, nah, peace out.
No.
And you have it undefined and you're like, I love this.
Well, it's funny because I didn't used to love cooking, and my husband has the 50, and I have that whole chat that open. So I feel like it's been like a way of me amplifying his nurturing energy in a way that really has given me my role in what I do in the house to the point where, he's capable, but, it's kind of backfired in some ways because now he's like, why do I just want to spend all this money when you make something better at home? And Sonia, our daughter, has um, mad cooking skills for a 24-year-old. She only makes the certain thing, like everything is pasta or cheese based, but she really is very talented. And like, will say, like, okay, I'm gonna make pasta with vodka sauce, which to me would be like you buy vodka sauce, right? She's like, she's got the vodka, she chops up her shallots, she cooks, puts in, does all these reductions and adds just the right amount. And then she's like, she doesn't look at a recipe, she just figures it out. And I'm just like, okay. So, and it's fun, right? She just has a list in her phone of what her restaurant will serve someday, right? And, but then she's like,
Fun.
I don't really want a restaurant. It's just fun to like,
Mm.
because a restaurant she knows is a lot of work.
Mhm.
So,
That's
okay.
But
So
employees though, right? But actually,
what?
I'd love to ask, well, that's when you have employees, right? She can like
Right.
set the schedule of like what they cook and they can do it and she
Right.
can initiate as a manifester. That might be perfect. Would love to throw that question out to anybody watching the replay or on the podcast or wherever you see this. Do you have Gate 50 and do you like cooking? I'm curious now. And then also let us know, do you have the whole channel? I'm very interested to see
Yeah,
that. My point,
right. We're
very
gonna have to do a
intrigued.
little poll on that one,
Yeah,
right? We'll set
yeah.
that up. That's a good question. So it's so interesting though, with all of these gates, they're not predictive of our behavior. They're like a spectrum, right? So many things are very this energy or not, right? Like they're this spectrum. So people, it might be a thing where people either love to cook or they're like, don't ask me to cook anything except crepes, obviously. That must be the exception. Um, so
Now
my
I'm a
question though is,
baker.
you're a baker?
I will bake stuff. I make cakes. I will make brownies from
Mhm.
scratch, like mint
Mhm.
julep brownies with a special icing and the whole nine yards. But that's very precise. That's my logic. I got the recipe and I know exactly what goes in and I follow all the steps. And it doesn't require cooking requires me to like do 8 things at once so it all ends up on the table at the right temperature at the same time. And that is like, heck no. But I
Mm.
will bake. I will absolutely bake.
See, that's why I love one pot dishes, where I put everything together. Last night I made, well, it was two pots actually. I made shrimp and grits. So, I had the grits going in one pot, and then I had to throw some kind of vegetable in there. So I had the shrimp with some sauteed kale and tomatoes and lots of garlic and onion and little jalapeno in there, and then put that on my cheesy grits. But and yeah, so that's the kind of thing I like to make. And my husband's like we go to a restaurant and he's like, I have to pay $40 for shrimp and grits. That's not as good as yours, right? So anyway, yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if there is a correlation, and I'll have to think how to word that because it's like, do you like to cook, love to cook, hate to cook? Because I'm guessing they'll fall in the two extremes.
Mhm.
I don't know because I feel like I love to cook the things I like to cook. There's like, I think I have like 6 recipes. And like Mary was saying, very logical. It's like, this is the recipe. This is how I do it. It's how I've always done it. And I love
Right?
to do those. But like in general, if you're like, okay, quickly go cook some supper, I'd be like, ah.
Right. So I realized I've been forgetting to check the Facebook group to see, I know there were some comments in there a minute ago, and I did not respond. Oh, Yo says, I think 832 needs the 50, no continuity without harmony. So yeah, that makes sense, right? And we just came out of that gate 32 energy. That was, right before it. So they tend to lead to each other for a reason, right?
Mhm.
So
That's where the line 6 comes in, being
yes,
that bridge.
yep, always looks to the next one. So anything, oh, do we want to go through the lines real quick? I'll start with gate 3 with the lines. I don't know if you have that to share. If not, I'll just read it. You don't know. I know Jess was a busy bee this morning, so I think people.
I don't have it in front
Yeah,
of me.
that's
But I
fine.
think
We'll
it's
just
wonderful if you
read
share.
them.
Yeah.
So right now we entered this energy late last night. So we're in line 1 of the gate 3, and that one is called synthesis. And it says difficulties can be only overcome when all the pertinent factors have been analyzed. So I have to know all the shoe options and do I know what I'm going to really be doing? Like I need to know what the dances are going to look like, whether I want flowy or whether I want, do I want to wear my sneakers because I'm going to be like bouncing and jumping a lot and I got to support these old bones, with not the wrong shoes. So all the pertinent factors have to be analyzed. So line 2 is called immaturity, the unrestrained acceptance of guidance. So yeah, when we're not staying true to our own, awaiting it to come in, we're letting other people tell us. Line 3 is survival, the ability to recognize and distinguish between fertile and sterile in their various manifestations. Because remember, their mutation lives in gate 3 in this whole 63 channel, 60-3, not 63, because this is where creation comes in, right? Not so, we know we always talk about 59-6 and that being about making the babies, but this is where like the individuality portion of it comes in. So the line 4 is charisma, innate quality which attracts valued guidance. And then gate 5 or line 5 is victimization, when actions designed to overcome confusion alienate others. I'm very confused with my reading abilities today, apparently. So when actions designed to overcome confusion alienate others. Line 6 is surrender, the ultimate maturity to recognize when struggle is futile. And the sun is exalted in line 6. And it says, as its light sustains, so life goes on. The innate acceptance that ordering is a process, not a problem. So that's really beautiful. And then do you want me to read 50 or do you have it in front of you there? Okay.
I just
Okay,
want to sit
so
with that
gate 50.
one
What?
second. I just want to sit with that real quick.
Oh, okay. Do you have either of you have a response to that? Sorry, I tend to just go on.
No, just
Both of my Uranuses are line 6, and so
Ah,
that surrender is like, yep, that's I'm working on it.
right?
Mhm.
Awesome.
It's
Okay,
a
so
process. It's a process,
okay,
not
but that will be that's gate 3 that we were just reading. So
Oh, right.
yeah,
Okay.
but that's okay because what happens when we have a connection when gate 3 is in line 6, that activates that in
Yep.
your 50. Your 50 activates with that in a
Yep.
full channel. So and the way that we've never really talked about this before, but so there are little triangles by some of the gates and the lines on a chart or on a transit chart, which if you want to share that picture, we can kind of point to the triangles because I'm sure they're on there somewhere. And those little triangles represent what are termed exalted or detriments in the human design chart. So, oh, and of course, we don't have any on here this time. There's nothing in there right now, but they would be over here by the planet placements. They'd be a little triangle up or down. So what it means though is if you have a certain line that gets activated by a planet that is listed with that same thing by it. So for example, when I just said the sun is exalted, that means the sun, thanks. We don't really have those, but that's what they would look like, right? So the sun in line 6 would have an up arrow like Jen just drew so pretty in her little pen.
Jen.
Jen, Jess, sorry. My best friend here in Aura, best friend over here is Jen. So you just kind of got extrapolated into that Jen Jess thing. Okay, so Jess drew the little triangle. So what happens is when you're looking at the placements, it'll tell you in any of the line things, it'll say which planets are exalted and which planets are in detriment in that line. And there's usually one of each. Now, Ra has said that if he could change the name he gave anything, he would change the fact that he calls them exalted and detriment because they really are not good or bad. It's not like, oh, I have it in the exalted, so I'm somehow better than somebody who has it in the detriment. It is just two different extremes of the way the energy expresses that are neither good nor bad. They're just polar from each other. So, okay, so that all being said, gate 50, the gate of values, line 1 is called the immigrant. Humbleness of origin that benefits rather than restricts destiny. That's the line my husband has for his earth. And line 2, where the sun is exalted. It's funny because some of these don't even give you a little explanation. They just tell you the exalted or the detriment. We got lucky with the last one. It gave us all of them. So line 2 is determination and the sun is exalted. The strength of purpose that can enjoy overcoming adversity to achieve its goals. The strength derived from maintaining one's values in the face of opposition or conditioning. So we'll be moving into that late tonight. 3 is adaptability. It does not give us more than that. Line 4 is corruption, which I know that in Gene Keys, that's what they say is the shadow of the entirety of the gate. And it's interesting because this is in line 4, which is the more tribal line in the gate, right? And it's a tribal energy. So the lack of enriching values. That's all it says. We've already talked about the current corruption aspect a little bit, though. Line 5 is consistency. When continuity has brought success, it should not be tampered with. And line 6 is leadership. And it does. Oh, and I did not read the overall thing that gate 50 says. The value of historical continuity whose traditional values serve and enrich the present and the future. So it's kind of the part of conservatism that is healthy, right? And gate 3 is the part of a more liberal new approach that is healthy. And both of these energies have unhealthy expressions, right? A conservatism that is so fear-based that we don't allow the initiation and the moving forward. And the moving forward in the line 3 that is so onward and upward that it loses the grounding in the support of the values and the cauldron, right?
Do you mean the gate 3?
Yes, I said gate. I said line, didn't I? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay. Well, we are top of the hour. Does anyone have any closing thoughts?
It was
No?
fun.
That's fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So we'll see you in 6 days, and I should have it in front of me when the next one is, but let's see, the next one is going to be the 22nd at noon. So next Tuesday. And that one is going to be, what line is that? Oh, we'll be moving into gate 27 and the Earth in gate 28. So see you next Tuesday. Bye. Wait, how do I, this is me always not remembering how to stop everything. All right, end live video.